War continues to rage. And while fires, bombs, and soldiers fire at one another across the world, while it may sound and look like chaos, the real powers of this war are coalescing, and together they will end the war, dominating hemispheres of our planet. And I will hopefully still be alive by the end of it all. Welcome back to Call of War, the very final update video. If you've enjoyed this, and I hope you have, and you want to jump in, you can click the link below and just play the game for free. It is a free game to play. As you can see, this game alone has taken over a month. It takes time, and you get to play your little armchair strategy general while you dominate the world. And while this is the last update on the channel, the game won't be done at this point, and I'm gonna keep going on to play the rest of it, even if there doesn't seem to be much left. And honestly, I come with good news. Not only good news of my own accomplishments, but good news in that Communist China isn't gonna kill me, so that's awesome. But I actually have achieved some things, likely with the help of Communist China and their coalition, but still, let's start in Mongolia. If you remember before, we were being attacked. I was able to snatch up some things back, and we're gonna be moving in to start bombing Munrun here, so that we can take it for ourselves. I don't know what forced move does, other than obviously forces them to move 5 condition points an hour, but we're just gonna kind of throw them across the enemy line here. And I'd love to see we move up. I just want to get him in range so we can start bombing Murin here. And I'm going to take this back. Other than that, we actually took another one of our provinces back, and we have a couple provinces up here that we're still at war with that I think we're going to start moving to the edge of the battlefield, following the roads. And we're going to get our artillery kind of all set up. And in the meanwhile, I'd also like to keep building buildings. Whoops. In the meanwhile, while we've got all this going, I would like to continue to build ourselves... Oh, we've got an airport here. Some troops. Let's continue building infrastructure, obviously, to keep up our buildings of our military industrial complex. I also want to keep our infrastructure building in areas where we don't have them. We've got 2 infrastructure here. Honestly, on top of all that, an industrial complex can go a very long way. And we'll get some more militia kind of just lining our battlefield where we can. Keep building fortifications. And we'll build some artillery so that we have a bunch of artillery firing when we can. And we want to take this back. And like I said, I want to move up here and look into Turakem and Abakam and try and snatch them if we can grab them before everybody else does. Though now we can actually take a kind of scope out here for a moment and take a real good long look at the world and see where war is happening. Now, if we remember, last time we left this place over to the east, Canada was looking like they were coming down, and it still looks like Canada is making their way over, but not for the sake of not having some sort of defensive line over here. But we can actually see Communist China's taking majority of their troops and marching westward, heading out here to meet up with Xinjiang, which we might jump into war with here to help them out. As you can see, a lot of their stuff is completely bust down. But before we do that, I do want to take a look at the coalitions. We might just be able to jump into war with this guy. How big is he? Xinjiang. I mean, he's huge, but it looks like a lot of his lands are destroyed. Their morale is completely shot, where ours is still really, really good, and China's is as well. If we decide we want to go to war with him, we're already at war. So if I want to start bombing, I think we'll start moving to the borders here. We can see where the roads are leading. We'll move to the border here as well. And we'll see if we can start bombing and hitting them and helping where we can. We'll obviously go ahead and move our artilleries as needed. and we'll move our infantry. All right. So we'll get involved here. But again, the point is Communist China is moving westward and continuing to dominate out this way and kind of just scoop up everything they can. Their coalition, basically they said they made room for one of their friends who was Syria, so that's why they booted me, but they're going to keep me allied. But if you move over this way, where you can see again, I imagine this is all Khabarovsk. This is again part of our coalition. They're dominating up north. But if we go to Europe, you can now see not Europe fighting itself. Remember how when we talked about Europe when we last looked at them, we looked at how they were fighting each other, and that could be the general downfall of them, that there's no unity. Well, now we're starting to see that, because if we scoop in and we zoom way in, whoa, 10th Railroad Gun Regiment of the United Kingdom is trying to hold them off. Meanwhile, we got Yugoslavia down here, Canada. Up here, Canada. The UK and Canada. I guess like the UK is Canada now? Or at least they're part of the Canadian coalition? Let's take a look. Yeah, Maple Syrup Alliance. So the Maple Syrup Alliance, Canada, quote unquote, England joined Canada, and they are just assaulting Europe from here, and they're just absolutely decimating and moving through. And because there's just so much conflict throughout, the further eastward they go, I think the easier time they're gonna have it, it's really gonna boil down to a war between the two major coalitions, the Maple Syrup Alliance and the United Asia Front. Now, they have a spot left, and the new Soviet Union ain't gonna last. That's who we're wiping out right now. But I would love it if they let me back in. Maybe their country got wiped out, I don't know. But if we go to, let's see, we'll just go to Communist China again. We're sharing maps. I don't know if I could apply to it anymore. I'll hit apply. Let's see if we can get back into the coalition, because there's a spot. We'll see what happens. But that's going to be the war. I really think the Maple Syrup Alliance and the United Asia Front are really going to be kind of the forces to be reckoned with. I don't know if we'll see Africa really get touched. There's a giant war down here that, oh no, see? We can kind of see this stuff. Let's switch our allegiance here with the United Kingdom. I'd love to see what they have going on here. Let's go ahead and hit share map. Oh no, we got to send them a share map. Maybe we shouldn't be sharing our map with them. Let's go ahead and swap. I don't want to share a map yet. I would love to see what's going on down here. And America, obviously, as we left it, it's been united. It's been a weirdly united between it. I mean, they're both part of the Canadian Maple Syrup Coalition. Western America is what's coming down into China over here. We have a big issue. I might send something that way. They might be moving in. I don't know, because like they're moving inward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing out to my diplomacy menu. I'm going to send a mission. I'm going to send a message rather to Communist China. The Maple Syrup Coalition is landing forces to our east. Just be aware. I don't know if there's an alliance going there, but we're going to go ahead and send them that mission. And we're going to kind of scoop back out, and maybe we'll just keep on building up troops. Santa Cruz, way down here, that one little island, has just an airport. And that's it. That's the majority of how things are going here. Again, a big thank you to the developers for sponsoring this series of videos. And again, you can go check out the game right now in the link in the description below. Please go check it out. Again, if you're a big fan of the strategy stuff, it's been a good way to spend time. Even when I was away, something I didn't even think about is you can play this on your mobile, tablet, phone, and I should have just kept up with the war on my phone. But I was very, very distracted and busy while I was gone. But still, you can play it anywhere, and you only need to pop on like once a day for like 10, 15 minutes, get your troops moving, and kind of get the war going. And you always get, if you decide to jump in and play by yourself for the first time too, the game throws you into a quote-unquote tutorial war, where instead of 100 players, there's only 22, and there's a lot more, you have a lot more resources at your disposal, and you can kind of just get an understanding for the game, work with alliances with the players, and all that other stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys so much for the support. And because of you, I can do videos like this and bring games like this to your attention. And thank you again to the developers, link in the description below, and we'll see you next time. So bye, everybody.